Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a new episode. This is the first of its kind. I can't wait to get in. The reason why it's the first of its kind, and by the way, happy to be back. Last week, things didn't really work out too well. Some things were deleted, the drafts were deleted, the intro was deleted. Basically, long story short, and I think this is very important, is I went to save what I previously spoke about, but very but when I went out to go to the dentist, I needed to get my teeth checked. When I came back to reopen it, it said it was corrupted. I don't know what was going on. The intro's the intro's gone. It's gone. Uh, so I have two things to either divert into. Either A, I create a new intro. Either the same exact same intro, create a new one that sounds the exact same, or a different one. Or B, don't do an intro. I've been looking at listening to podcasts recently, and one thing that's very important is a lot of them don't tend to have intros. So I'm just wondering, should I or shouldn't I? Because I'm thinking, is that too much effort? Is that too much effort? Is that like too much production going on? Or should I just keep it simple and just not do an intro? That's what I'm actually thinking about. But that was essentially last week. I didn't have much time to really talk. I usually talk Thursdays, or Fridays, but I left it too late. And sorry, I have my water next to me. But yeah, like where I'm sitting here now is actually probably the best place for me to sit, just because it sounds the best. It's the best room to be in. It's actually just my bedroom, to be honest. To be honest, it's just like my bedroom. All the walls are close together, so there's no echo. You know, I mean, yeah, I really like it. There's a lot of bookshelves, so it's sort of. I think I heard that bookshelves sort of suppress the echo of the room. But that's all out of the way. Explain what happened last week. But the funny thing is that this is the first of its kind, and the reason why it's the first of its kind is because it's on YouTube, everyone. First episode. This is the first episode on YouTube. The reason why I switched over, and the reason why I switched over was because I didn't want to. I didn't want to keep doing it just audio. I explained my reasoning why my new format I'm doing. Now I don't know if I can keep it up every day, but essentially to recap, because this is the first episode on YouTube. If you tried to search for the other ones, they're on Castbox. If you want to search for the other ones, they're on Castbox. They're not good, but they're hey, if you like listen to this, there's the other ones. I think it's under the same name, Ross Bradley or something along those lines. But yeah, but the new format is I'm going to do every day. Essentially, every day is updating. I'm going to update you on my day every single day. They're not all going to be videos just because I'll be speaking into my phone. I'm not going to be sitting at my computer for half an hour every day. That's just, I mean, I think that's a bit too much time, really. But it's not too much. Yeah, so every day it's going to be about 10 minutes of updating, but once a week I'm going to do a video one. I think this is a great way. My my chair is creaking. Apologies if you can hear that. But I think that's a great way to, well, to be honest, it's a great way to kind of build a foundation and sort of keep it for rotating and keep it for spinning. And the weekly ones are going to be longer. The video ones are going to be longer than the audio ones, just because I'll be sitting down so I get to talk. And the audio and video ones are going to be split into two sectors. The daily audio ones are going to be updates. Just updating you, just documenting my my life essentially, sort of like a vlog but audio, an audio sort of thing. I'll be speaking to my phone. I have my phone with me right now. I'll just be, every hour just talk for about a minute. And yeah, so I actually quite like that. And the video ones are going to be not updating, not documenting, but the video ones are going to be talking about a specific topic. You see, surrounding art, maybe surrounding a news happening in the day, maybe surrounding some COVID thing or something like that. And the weekly ones are probably going to be the ones with the guests and with the people. The daily ones probably not, just because it's like 10 minutes, so there's no point. But yeah, essentially, yeah. So that's that. I really think it's going to be really cool, and it's going to be on YouTube. That's the reason why it's the first of my kind. I think I've evolved the podcast a little bit every time, a little bit every week. I originally I was listening back to my original podcast. Like I said, if you want to search for them, they're on Castbox under the same name. I was looking back at them and I couldn't help but think, why was I? I I couldn't think to myself, why have I taught? I've changed my pattern of speech, and at first it was more conscious effort, but now it's like subconscious. Like, I can't really pronounce that right, but yeah. So it's before it was like, and then when I was doing the first episode, I was listening to it. I think, why am I not I'm talking like this, and yeah, this that. I went down. I bought myself some pencils off eBay. It's like, and like at the start, I was at this very first few episodes. I was thinking, yeah, I'm quite boring. I need to change up my speech. I need to sort of have some better tone of talking. But like after a few episodes, it just became natural. Like, this is how I talk normally now. It's actually really cool. And I started this podcast back in January, so like what, 8 months ago, 6 months ago. Yeah, I mean it's definitely something. This is really 6 months. No, 8 months ago. Sorry, it's the 6th of the 8th, 2020 today. So yeah, 8 months ago, and I think I have definitely improved on that. So I'm actually very happy with that. I'm super happy, and that was one of the main reasons why I started the podcast, was to improve speaking. And I don't know if it works for public speaking. I don't know. Like, I do have trouble with speaking in public. Maybe it's because I'm quite nervous speaking in public. Like, I do it all right, but I do want to get better at it. And I feel like doing this podcast, there could be a way for me to speak louder, more defined, more consistent, and just switching up. Because before, yeah, I was definitely more nervous talking, even talking about myself. I was definitely more nervous, but now I think I'm all right. Sorry, I hit the mic, and the mic is actually it's attached to my lamp. Funny story. I I have a mic. I got it for Christmas. It was great, very good. It's not the most expensive mics, but it is good. It does the job. I don't know if you can hear it, but it does the job. And it came with a stand, little stand, about 15 centimeters tall. This stand is little plastic thing. I don't know where that is. I don't know. I've searched everywhere. But and before I was just essentially, I couldn't just put the mic on the table. I would have a very awkward position, to talk if it's on the table. So I wanted to put it quite high. And so temporary solution to that was me holding it. But that didn't really work because you could hear it moving. You could hear it moving. I tend to crack my fingers. like that. I tend to crack my fingers so it actually sounded horrible. So I was sitting here and one day I looked and I said, and the lamp doesn't work. This lamp, I need to switch the bulb. The bulb's been broken for like a month, 2 months. I've been using my lamp, my light in my room as a source of lighting while I draw. I have to rotate my desk every week, and every week it's rotated back, so I have to change it. It's pretty easy. Just lift the desk, rotate 90 degrees. Light comes from the right to the left, but that's really bad because I write with my right hand, and that means the shadow is hitting the page while I draw and while I write. But yeah, my lamp does work, so I decided to interline the wires of my mic on my lamp. And when there's video, weekly video, you'll see it. And yeah, I mean, it works just as great. It works really good, and it kind of gets out of my way. So I'm happy with that. I'm pleased with that. It's a temporary solution, but it's not a solution. It's not a solution that I am that I'm annoyed about, because it's actually a pretty good solution. So that's out of the way. Okay, now drawing. Drawing. I'm doing more surreal drawings. Essentially I put out a tweet last week saying I want to start. First of all, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I kept going back and forth on different things. Like I didn't know I didn't know what I wanted to do. I started the Instagram thing back in March of 2019, and I from there I did about like a lot. Like I did surrealism, and I went to realism, and then I went to character drawings, and then I went to still lifes, and then I went to portraits, and I did portraits in color, and I did portraits in black and white. I did sketches and charcoal and graphite and oil paint and watercolor paint and just a bunch of different things. I did eye drawings. I did some surreal drawings mixed, and I did so many different things, and I kept flip flopping. I know that's not a good thing, because if I want to build an audience, I want to create something niche, a niche market. I want to sell to galleries. I want to build an audience, and have a good time. I mean, art is something that I really like and really want to do. You know, and yes, it is a business, but it also is, like, I guess, like a hobby. I guess it's a hobby for now. Anyway, I'm doing it amateur now. Basically, I'm not in a position to sell. I know that I need to do some improvements, and I figured out the main key in creating those improvements was to create a niche drawing thing. So I thought, I was very interested in psychology. Since the age of 16, I think. I'm 18 now, almost 19. In like, I'm 19 in the 22nd of August. Yippee! That's, well, 16 days. A little more than 2 weeks. Almost 19. Yeah, I mean, actually, before I wanted to do the art, I I had the concept of me going to a college that did psychology and also architecture, but I was more interested in psychology. But then I thought, why not do the art? Because it's like my favorite thing. But then I thought, why not sort of do the why not I do sort of like intertwine a bit of psychology with the art? And if you didn't know, surrealism was founded. Uh, it wasn't first a paint. It wasn't first an art thing. It was more so. I think writing. I think it was more literature. But yeah, it delved into the idea of the subconscious. I think the same idea that I forgot his name. Damn it. I know his name, but I just can't think of it. Anyway, yeah. So delve into the subconscious, the dreamlike imaginary state, and that sort of intertwines with a bit of psychology, I think. Sort of like the mind and how the mind produces things. So I thought, why not do mix surrealism, because that's like one of my favorite art forms to look at. I mean, I'm really like interested in Salvador Dali's work and Rene Magritte's and Frida Kahlo's work. It's very interesting, and I suggest anyone. You don't even need to be interested in art because it's not an art really thing. It's more, like I said, literature. But I think anyone can get an interest in surrealism, and then mix that with realism or hyperrealism, more so hyperrealism. So I thought of the name hypersurrealism. Later did I find out that name already existed. It's not really a known name. I think it came out in the 1970s. But hypersurrealism was is a thing, and you would create like dreamlike states, surrealism aspects, but put them in such high definition. I'm actually I admire people that do a hyper realism extremely. Like, I admire anyone with the that does the art, but I mean hyper realism and photorealism very similar. Hyperrealism, photorealism. Sorry. Yeah, I'm very interested with that, and I think yeah, I mean it's very impressive when you look at something that's drawn or painted in such high definition. It's quite cool. Now I'm not near that. At best, I can do realism. I'm trying to build a technical skill with it to the point where I can do hyperrealism. But so far, I am getting there. I am trying to build it, and then I'll encompass the creativity of surrealism, intertwine that. It'll create something like kind of niche. And then yeah, it'll be something specific that I really like that could take weeks to do, because I'm very happy when I can draw something for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then it comes out and I'm like I look at it, I'm like, yeah, this is something that looks cool, you know. It's definitely a long way to go. A long way to go. I need to improve on both the hyperrealism aspect and the surrealism aspect. Uh, of course, yeah, it'll take years, of course, but yeah, I'm ready to do that. It's very interesting, and it also I'm actually happy to do that to take years because I'm actually updating you along the way, and it's actually really fun to do that. So yeah, brilliant. I really like that, and I really like you know I really like art, and I really like drawing stuff. But yeah, so and that's the reason why I'm talking about art. It's more of an art podcast. I'm going to be talking about it probably weekly. Probably other things too, but yeah. So, I, it is 18 minutes. 18 minutes and about 40 seconds in. I'll call it a day. See you tomorrow, I'm assuming. As long as my laziness doesn't kick in. But I want to thank you all very much for listening. It's been Ross Bradley. I'm thinking about a new name for the podcast. If you can let me know ideas, I'll take that along the way. But thank you so much. So much. And I'll see you hopefully tomorrow. Thanks.